Hello everybody, Antoine here from Simarchitecture and welcome back to the channel. So today we're building an historical build and I know that you like those buildings a lot. So here I am and I'm building a small countryside palace, or at least this is how I call it. I wanted to build like a small castle or palace, which is really typical for France. In almost every city or village or town, there's a castle or a small palace, and this is what I wanted to build. So a few days ago, I published pictures of a palace that inspired me on Twitter, and I was telling you that I was about to recreate this little castle in The Sims 4. Actually, this is inspired by it, but it's not like a real replica, because there were some elements that were not possible to build in The Sims 4, so I went for a free version of the small castle. But I really like the way it turned out, and I'm pretty happy with this palace because it is not too huge, so I didn't spend hours and hours building it, but I still enjoyed it really much because there were a lot of possibilities in terms of interior design. So yes, that was really something enjoyable to do. This palace is located in Windenburg on a 64 by 64 lot, as always when I'm building a palace, and it has 3 bedrooms. But there could be more bedrooms because I actually didn't build anything in the 3rd floor, mainly because of the roof, which was visible inside the 3rd floor, so it was really uneasy to build something in this 3rd floor, which is more like an attic than a real floor. So maybe you can put some butlers or people working in the house for you in this attic, because this is where these people were living in palaces and castles. So maybe it could be a good idea, but still there's a staircase that goes up to the 3rd floor even if it's empty. So yeah, the castle itself is, as I told you, not that big, and it was what I wanted. It is inspired by 19th century because this kind of small castles made of brick or mainly from the 19th century. It was actually a time where people and architects like to recreate some styles that were en vogue back in days. So the brick pattern mixed with sandstone was actually something that was really en vogue in the 17th century. This is the pattern that we used for the first version of the Palace of Versailles, for example. But in the 19th century, it became again really popular and fashionable. So a lot of small castles were designed after this style. And actually not just one style, it's a mix of a lot of different style, a lot of different inspiration, and this is what I like about 19th century. It's always a mix of several inspirations. So there are a lot of really eclectic buildings in the 19th century, which is really enjoyable, I think, because I love it when there's variety in architecture. The best example for eclectic architecture is the Opera of Paris, which was made by Charles Garnier. According to me, this is one of the most beautiful things to see in Paris, and one of the most beautiful buildings ever created, maybe in the world. This is really a symbol of 19th century architecture, which is eclectic, luxurious, really a bit tacky, you know, like you need to show that you're rich, you need to show that you can put a lot of money in a building, and this was more or less the idea behind the 19th century architecture. It was a society where the people needed to show how rich they were, especially in the late 19th century. So this castle is inspired by 19th century, but a lot of the interior is mainly from the 18th century because, as always, I'm using Felix Hender's custom content, and he did a lot of 18th century items, especially ones coming from the Petit Trianon in Versailles. But it really did a great job and created several colors for each object, so it's possible to change the style of the object and to make it more look like 19th century. But I think it's not a problem if there are like 19th century architecture and 18th century furniture, because those centuries were really connected, linked, and in the 19th century it was fashionable again to have like 18th century furniture. And maybe now I'm gonna stop saying century because I said it way too much, but you got it. So the first floor of the castle is pretty unusual because there are three entries. Like on the front side of the castle there are two small lobbies with just a mirror, a door, a chandelier, and beautiful wood paneling, but that's it. Just a really small room to enter the castle, and in the backyard there's a big terrace with the real main entry hall. Because I was thinking that because it's a countryside palace, the people were coming from hunting and they were coming from the forest and not from the road, so that's why I decided to create the main entry hall in the backside of the castle. So there's this big entry hall which takes almost the half of the first floor, which is, I think, the most interesting room in the castle because I use different patterns like brownish marble and golden wooden paneling, and it looks really like 19th century according to me. Really classical, really straight. So yeah, I also put a lot of mirrors because I didn't have enough space to build a small gallery, so I decided to put mirrors everywhere just to pretend there's like a gallery. On the first floor still there's a big living room, or a drawing room as you call it in a castle or in a palace. This is a drawing room, which is decorated with green furniture, a lot of armchairs, sofas, there's even a harpsichord, and of course a lot of lightings and beautiful paintings which were made by Felix Hender but also by Jim 07, which is a creator on Model Sims. Because I know that a lot of you are like not so happy that Felix Hender make his content not free, so you have to pay for it. But there's an alternative which is not really the same kind of objects and not really the same style. And this alternative is made by Jim 07, which is totally free. But there are less objects and they're not really Maxis matching, because the objects created by Felix Hender are from old centuries and are really antique, but they're really matching the game according to me. So yeah, this is a possibility you have. There's also a library in the first floor with big fireplace and archers, bookshelves, everything you need to spend a good time. And of course there's a dining room which is really big and which is perfect when you're coming back from the hunt. By the way, don't believe I like hunting or anything, because I don't even eat meat and I really love animals. And well, you know, you don't have to judge the old habits with your eyes from today, if you know what I mean, because everything was different, the society was different, the habits were different, so you cannot judge people from another century because they were doing this or this with your today's eyes. So I'm not judging people hunting. First of all, it was only for rich people, for nobles and rich bourgeois. And in the royalty, it was really something usual, and it was probably the greatest entertainment you could have. Every king was really fond of hunting, and it was a big thing in this time. So when you visit a castle or palace, there's always something connected to hunting, because that was the great thing back in days. So this big dining room is perfect when you're coming back from hunting, I think. And if you go downstairs, because there's a small door that goes to the underground, there is a kitchen that I didn't put in this video because it was really long and I didn't want to make it any longer, and it was not really interesting to show the kitchen because it's really simple, and I think I could focus more on the luxurious interiors. That's it for the first floor. Oh yes, there's also a small bathroom, but there's nothing too interesting. And on the second floor, there are like 3 bedrooms, as I told you, which are all made with 3 different rooms. So there's like an antechamber. This is how you call it. This is a room you wait in before coming to the big room, which is in this case the bedroom. So it consists actually of a small drawing room with a few armchairs and a fireplace. Yeah, I put a fireplace in 2 of them. Then you have the bedroom, and there's also a bathroom, which is not something you can find in a castle, but I kind of did a mix between today's habits and an old design, because if you want to play in this castle or palace, it's more easy. It's even easier. Yeah, it's easier. Sorry, it's easier if you have a bathroom for each bedroom, because your sims don't have to go through all the palace to find toilets or a bathtub. So yes, each bedroom has a different style. There's one which is really in brownish style, just like the rest of the castle, with wooden paneling and really dark flooring. I really like this one. It looks more like something from the First Empire. I don't know why, but this is what I felt when I built it. Then there's another bedroom which is more white and gold, which is the biggest one. And this bedroom has the most beautiful bathroom. You will see it because there's even a statue with a small alcove where the statue is. It's really beautiful, really classical looking, but I like it. And finally, there's another bedroom, which is a bit smaller, but still cool, with only white pieces of furniture. So it's a really fresh bedroom, something really relaxing. I told you pretty much everything you need to know about this castle. I will put it soon on the gallery. I have some troubles with my internet connection, so sometimes I cannot connect to the gallery, and yeah, the gallery is not always working well. As you know, there's always something wrong with the gallery, so I will put it just like other palaces you were waiting for. So I will put them all in a row when I will connect to the gallery. So I'm really sorry for not putting them before, but I didn't really know what to do because there were like paid custom content. But yes, if you have it, you will enjoy the house with all the custom content. If you don't have it, well, the house will be quite empty, but you can refurnish it with your own custom content or your own game content. So I will do it soon. so you will stop asking me where is it, because I know it's not on the gallery. And yeah, so everyone will be happy. And yeah, I would be curious to know how you play with those castles and palaces I create in your game. It would be funny because I actually never play The Sims. Like, I don't like, yes, I like creating Sims, but I don't like to play with them. I just liked building. So I would be curious to know how you play in my houses. So feel free to share in the comments. Now I think it's time for me to leave you with the end of this video. I really hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.